Have you ever had a friend tell you that if they stepped foot in a church building, that the building would catch fire or they would be struck by lightning? Or maybe you've even caught yourself saying that because the sins of your past are etched in your very soul, and you're just left wondering, is God angry with me? See, throughout history, people have been trying to earn God's favor through worship, service, and even sacrifice. In ancient days, they would try to please God in order to make sacrifices to Him. If it rained too much and they experienced flood, they would make sacrifices to God. If it didn't rain enough and they experienced drought, they would make sacrifices to God. If it rained just enough and they needed to keep God happy, they would make more sacrifices to God. Can you imagine the weight of it all? Am I making too little of sacrifices? Am I making just enough sacrifices? The anxiety to keep God happy. Is there a possibility that there is a day in order to know where we stand before God? A day where there's a fresh new beginning, a day with a brand new start, a day of renewal, a day of rebirth. Is it possible that there is a single day that can change the thought process and change everything? You see, the day Yom Kippur is a day of a tale of two goats. One goat lives, the other goat dies. One goat is sacrificed and the other goat is set free. The priest would take these two goats and he would lay his hands on the first goat. And he would transfer all of the sins of the people onto the first goat. And then he would take a knife and he would slit the goat's throat and the blood would spill out, showing that the sins of the people equal death. But then the hope would come as he takes the second goat and he places all the sins of the people on the second goat. He places his hands on the head of the second goat, and then the goat is led out of the city, symbolizing the people have a fresh beginning. The people have a brand new start. In fact, the word Kippur means day of covering. Because who wouldn't want our mistakes covered over? Who wouldn't want our uncleanliness to be cleaned? It's the reason why we put a fresh new coat of paint in a room. It's the reason why we light a candle and bring in a fresh new scent. It's the reason why we take a house and we rehab it in order to give it brand new life. You see, the people were given a new start, a brand new beginning. God was saying that I cast your sins as far as the east is from the west. God remembers their sin no more. God has wiped the slate clean. So when we celebrate Easter, is it possible to know exactly where I stand before God? Does God leave us in our filth? Does God leave us unclean? Does God remain angry with us? Does God give us a brand new beginning? Is God really mad at us? Does God cover over our sin? Does God leave us unclean? Or does God make us clean?